National, President Cyril Ramaphosa has appointed a commission of inquiry to probe governance at the Public Investment Corporation.
The inquiry will look into PIC's governance and operating model and investment decision-making framework. The Treasury says details and the names of those who will lead the inquiry and make up its team will only be announced later. The corporation oversees the investment interests on behalf of large government employee pension funds, including the Unemployment Insurance Fund. It has been rocked by allegations of financial misconduct and corruption. The Public Servants Association, meanwhile, is taking the group to court. It's filed a motion in the North Gauteng High Court in what it says is an effort to protect pension investments of public servants. The matter will be heard in December if it's unopposed.
However, the UDM leader, Bantu Holomisa, does not agree with the president's instructions that the PIC board should appoint a forensic audit company to conduct investigations.
UDM has been calling for this inquiry. However, we differ fundamentally with the president allowing the Minister of Finance to say to PIC board and management that they must appoint a forensic audit company to investigate them. Remember that the decisions of the board as well as the management would be subjected to scrutiny by the pending inquiry. On what basis would you want now the board as well as the management to appoint a forensic audit company to investigate themselves, and that they are not even suspension? I smell a red here. Board is mind that the president might have found prima facie evidence which would have compelled him to take this decision to appoint a commission of inquiry. And of course, the scandal at VPS and other areas have indicated what we have been saying all along, to say that there's an error of judgment on how these PIC funds are invested. There seems not to be a due diligence done. They just sign checks.
Meanwhile, Kozatu believes that this is the way forward to eradicate corruption.
As Kozatu, we would welcome any measure by government to eradicate corruption or deal with any allegations of corruption. We don't have evidence, but we always want to know that our money is safe. Our concern is that the PIC is basically workers' money. It's public servant pension money, it's workers' unemployment and injury on duty money. And we've been very, very worried by the constant allegations in the media about corruption, dubious investments and so on. So we welcome any measure to do it. But we do have concerns about governing through commissions of inquiry all the time.
All right.
We think if there are allegations of criminal behavior, you must use the law enforcement agencies.
Right.
Because commissions of inquiry tend to take 2 years, they tend to cost a huge amount of money, and end up just producing a report, and government departments or law enforcement agencies end up just ignoring them. So we're quite worried about that. And we're also quite worried that part of the commission's terms of reference is to look at reviewing the PIC Act of Parliament. And we're worried because we've been doing a lot of work as COSATU with Parliament on amending that Act for the past 2 years. And we are on the verge of concluding that work in the next few months. And this commission might end up delaying that legislative bill by a few years. So that's a very serious matter of concern to us. Do that the next day or so. The commission was just announced today, so we weren't consulted about the commission's terms of reference, which is quite a disappointing thing. But yeah, we're busy engaging with government and with Parliament today and tomorrow, and we'll definitely be raising that concern very strongly with them that, yes, have the commission by all means, but we can't delay the work we've already been doing, because it takes a couple of years to pass the bill in Parliament.
We're quite happy with the announcement. This is what the PSA has been calling for quite a while, not necessarily the Commission of Inquiry, but for the restructuring of PIC and to look at whether this current operating model is still appropriate and it's something that will sustain the PIC moving forward. So for us, it's quite a victory, because we believe that indeed there can be substantial improvement into how the PIC is run and how they run their investments and so forth. And we believe that there's certain things that we must be honest. They are beyond human comprehension. If you look at VBS, it's good enough to blame PIC, but I don't think PIC sent anybody to go and steal there. How do you do due diligence on people's intentions? We must look at people's actions and the nature of the investment. The nature of the investment, we believe that VBS investment was not a wrong investment. It's something that would have really made a lot of us very proud if it was successful. However, the actions of the directors obviously were unbecoming, and you can't blame a specific investor for the behavior of the directors of the institution. But in essence, the announcement by the president is welcome.